This is Mr. Beck Does Your Homework. This is Physics Homework 13, question number 5. It says a car is moving at 14 meters per second along a curve on a horizontal plane with a radius of curvature 41 meters. So I've got a car that's driving around a corner, and that car is zipping along. So here's my car on its wheels, zipping along at some speed, okay, coming around the corner. The radius is 41 meters, so I know this radius is going to be 41 meters. The acceleration of gravity is 9.8. What is the required minimum coefficient of static friction between the road and the car's tires to keep the car from skidding? So somehow I need a mu of static friction between the tires and the road. Well, it doesn't seem like I have enough information here. I do know the speed is 14 meters per second. I don't know the mass of the car, though. So what I do is I'm going to draw a free body diagram of the car, looking at it from the front, since it's going to be a front view. From the front, I know that there's gravity pointing straight down. There's a normal force pointing straight up. And to get around the corner, I need some force that's pointing towards the center of the circle. I'm not going to write centripetal because I never put centripetal force on my free body diagram. But I know that if the tires lost their friction with the road, the car would continue in a straight line. But now the car is making it around the turn. So I know that this force is the force of friction. I'm looking for, so I know that my force of friction is going to be my centripetal force. What I'm looking for is my coefficient of static friction, my coefficient of friction. Well, I know that my coefficient of static friction is going to be the amount of frictional force divided by my normal force. I know that my normal force and my gravity are going to be the same because there's no monsters involved here. And my gravity is going to be mg, mass times the acceleration of gravity. So let's see what I know. Friction is centripetal, and my force centripetal is going to be mv squared over r. So if the static friction coefficient is the force of friction divided by the normal force, well, the force of friction is going to be the centripetal as mv squared over r. And I want to divide this by my normal force, which happens to be mg. So I'm going to write rmg. I'm also dividing by the normal force. And if you need to work out the algebra and see if that works, go right ahead. Mass cancels out. It's on the top and the bottom. I didn't know the mass, but it turns out I don't need to know the mass. So here's my coefficient of friction. It's going to be v squared over rg. And you know each one of these, so that is the answer to this question.